Hi guys, welcome back to Foliage Loft. My name is Liam, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the next generation of plant support systems, the Mossify Bendable Moss Pole. So first I'm going to unbox them and show you the 3 different sizes that are available, and towards the end of the video I'll be setting up one of my own plants up on one of these moss poles. I wasn't feeling so great last week, so I did take the week off. I didn't post a video last Sunday. That was the first week in 37 weeks that I didn't post a video, so I'm pretty excited to get back into things this week, so let's jump right into it. So you can see here that the Mossify Bendable pole is available in 3 different sizes. There's a 16-inch, a 30-inch, and a 42-inch option. And I guess the first question you might ask is, why would you want your moss pole to be bendable in the first place? You might have used regular, rigid, straight moss poles before, and they might have worked just fine for you, but the answer really comes down to your plants. Very few plants are going to grow perfectly straight. Plants obviously have a chaotic nature to them, and they'll often shift and bend to grow towards the light. So these bendable moss poles can move and adapt to the growth of your plant, and they can also allow you to present your plants in a really unique way. Especially with the larger 42-inch size, you can really bend it into some unique shapes that suit your style. And the materials that Mossify have used to construct these poles are really excellent as well. They have a granite stone base that you bury under the soil to make sure that your pole is super sturdy and won't fall over. The wire inside the pole that gives it its bendable nature seems pretty sturdy as well. You do have to use a bit of force to bend it into shape, which I think is a good thing. And the substrate within the pole is sphagnum moss, which is a great growing medium for your plants. Certain plants that have aerial roots or adhering roots will be able to latch onto this moss, allowing your plant to mature more quickly and grow even more impressive. And the moss that Mossify has used for these poles has been sustainably farmed and is completely free of any chemical dyes and 100% pesticide free as well. So you know they'll be safe for you and your plants. And it's all wrapped up in what looks like some kind of jute or twine, and it seems like the moss will stay in place for a good while. Some moss poles can be quite messy if they haven't been wrapped up properly, but these Mossify poles seem quite sturdy and well put together. And each pole comes with instructions on the label. First you'll want to soak it in water, then place it in your pot, and add some rocks or soil and compress it into place. Then you can insert your plant and carefully pin your plant to the pole with the included metal pins. And of course, these moss poles are all handmade and shipped from Canada, and I believe if you spend over $100, they'll offer free shipping for most of Canada and the States. I picked up 1 pole of each size and was able to get free shipping, and they even included this small bag of free sphagnum moss in my order. I'm not sure if they do this if you spend a certain amount, but it was a nice little bonus during my unboxing. Another great thing about Mossify is that they've partnered with One Tree Planted, so every order you place ensures that a tree will be planted somewhere on Earth that needs it most. And it seems like they've taken steps to ensure that there's no plastic packaging around the product, and that their business is as sustainable as possible, which I think is great. And I do want to mention here that this video is not sponsored in any way. I bought these moss poles with my own money, so I am able to give you my honest and unfiltered opinion here. So now that you know a little bit more about these fancy moss poles, I'm going to show you how to put them to use. I have this Scindapsus pictus here that's been hanging up in my bedroom, and you can see it's gotten quite leggy, and a lot of the new growth is small and stunted. Although these plants look beautiful when they trail, they really look their best and thrive when they're able to climb up something. In nature, these plants will find the nearest tree and climb up them, and when this happens, the leaves will grow larger and the plant will grow stronger. So with the Mossify pole here, we're going to try and recreate that environment inside the home. Because the moss poles have a granite base, we are going to need to bury this within the soil so it's nice and stable. The best way to do this is to start with an empty pot and then to start burying your granite base. Then bring the plant and its roots back into the soil. First things first, I'm going to chop off some of these sad leggy bits off my Scindapsus, and hopefully we can spur some better growth here. I'll be transferring the Scindapsus from this hanging basket into this ceramic pot here. I do have 3 size options for the moss poles here, so I think I'm going to go with the middle one, the 30-inch size, as I do have some other plants in mind for the smaller and larger size poles. So first up, I need to mix up some new soil because I'm not a big fan of the soil that we have in this hanging basket here, and then we can start the transfer process. This is about the smallest size pot I would put one of the larger moss poles inside, Otherwise, I don't think you would have enough weight in the soil to make sure the pole would stay upright and stable. I think my only complaint about these moss poles is the wire that comes underneath the granite stone. It does add some instability since the wire sits underneath the stone. Maybe an idea for Mossify going forward would be to have a small cutout underneath the stone so it would sit flat and be more stable sitting inside the pot. But once I added some pumice to the bottom and then some soil, I was able to get it sitting right. And then once the soil was watered, it seemed a lot more stable. Then we could bury our roots with soil, and the last remaining step was to attach the plant to the pole. Mossify includes these small pins in a little bag attached to each pole, and they're the perfect size to support your plant on the moss pole. You do have to use a little bit of force when you're putting them in, depending on where you stick the pin into the pole. I found a few times I had to pull it back out and find a different spot where it would slide in easier. And you obviously don't want to have the pin really tight against the stem of your plant. It should be snug, but not pinching the plant in any way. And it'll take a bit of fiddling to find the right placement. In a few spots I was able to tuck multiple stems under a single pin so that I didn't use too many. And I tried to place them so that there weren't too many stems visible in one spot, and the leaves were evenly spread up the pole. There might be a few leaves that you have to pull out and reposition since they can get caught under the stem in places as you attach it. But as you can see now, I think all the work involved is worth it, as your plant can look great on a pole like this. And there we have it, my Scindapsus pictus is now attached to the Mossify Bendable pole. I really enjoy the way it looks on the pole, especially with the pot and plant combo, and it's still got quite a bit of space to grow up the pole in the coming months. I'll just have to remember to mist the pole regularly, or even take it in the shower to keep it moist. That will encourage the plant to adhere to the pole as it grows. So hopefully if you are considering picking up one of these moss poles, this video has given you some more information to help you with your decision. I personally think these moss poles are pretty awesome, they're well made with solid materials, and the fact that they're handmade here in Canada with sustainable materials makes them even more appealing for me. Mossify does sell some other products including an automatic mister, some mossy plant art, and clothing. So definitely go and check them out if you haven't already. I'll leave a link to their website in the description down below. And make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to Foliage Loft if you haven't already. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next week, see ya.